Hi Frantic Skittles, hope you're okay. I don't know how you've done with social distancing. It's been a new thing for many of us, certainly for me. I've lived 53 years and I've never had to socially distance before. But today's story is about 10 people who had been socially distancing for a time. We don't know how long, the Bible doesn't tell us, but they'd been socially distancing. The lepers had to socially distance because in the Old Testament, the Bible tells us that those with the skin disease had to stay outside the city or the town walls, and as they walked along, they would shout, "Unclean, unclean," so that people knew they were lepers and kept out the way. It must have been a terrible life that they had. Jesus was heading for Jerusalem. He was on the border between Galilee and Samaria. Samaria was regarded as enemy territory. You've probably heard the story of the Good Samaritan, and they were regarded as the enemies of the Jews. They wouldn't even mention the names of the Samaritans, the Jews wouldn't. Anyway, Jesus was on the border and 10 lepers came up to him. 10 people with a skin disease came up to him and said, "Jesus, have mercy on us." Jesus looked at them. I think that's really important, that Jesus looked at them and he said, "Go show yourself to the priest." So Jesus said, "Go show yourself to the priest," because in the Old Testament, it was decided that the priest would say if someone was clean or not, if they had a clean bill of health. The Bible tells us that as they went, they were cleansed. As they went, they were healed. They had faith in Jesus. I wonder, do you have faith in Jesus? There were 10 lepers who were cleansed. All 10 of them were cleansed, but only one came back. I wonder how thankful you are to those people in your household. And to God and to Jesus for all they've done for us. Only one returned. And do you know what? He fell at Jesus' feet. He praised God. And he was a Samaritan. The only one who returned was a Samaritan. We're not told about the other 9, but presumably from the passage, they were all Jews. In this passage, we can see that Jesus had no favourites. All 10 were cleansed. All 10 were healed. 9 of them were Jews. 1 was a despised Samaritan. But Jesus cared for them and loved every one of them. They were all treated equally. Black Lives Matter is very important at the moment. And a lot of black people haven't been treated well in the past. Jesus believes that everyone is created in his image to be like him, and that everyone is important. And this story just shows us that even the Samaritan, who was hated by the Jews, and Jesus probably would have been taught when he was young to hate the Samaritans, although he didn't do that. Jesus treated them all equally. But he was also disappointed with the Jews because the only one who had come back to thank him was this person from foreign lands, the Samaritan. Jesus said to the Samaritan, "Stand up and go. Your faith has healed you." Do you have faith in Jesus? Thanks for listening. Hope you're well. Have a great week. Hope to see you soon.